My name is Lance Walker. May we be on a never-ending journey for what's right, true, and just. And may that journey start with our own hearts and minds. May we root out the hypocrisy and the error in our thinking and our actions. And may we be brutally honest with ourselves so we can be sincerely honest with others. Today I'm going to tell a story that revolves around two words, introspective work. And that last statement, may we be brutally honest with ourselves so we can be sincerely honest with others. I'm going to be brutally honest. I own Walker's Barbershop, and I have an eclectic clientele, very diverse. I don't have a whole lot of customers who are Muslim. I had a customer come in who was Muslim, and when I found out, I began to get anxiety because I'm of a different belief system, and I wasn't liking how I was feeling. So I hurried up and cut his hair and tried to get him out. And for most people who know me, they know I'm a talkative person, and if you come in the shop, I engage everyone. This day I didn't engage this customer, and after I finished his hair, he paid me for the haircut, and then he tipped me the price of the haircut. So I was like, okay. And but when he left, I had a certain feeling inside, because my core values, the way I was acting and treating this person was, I had cognitive dissonance going on, because my actions weren't lining up with my core values and my core belief system. He came back about a month later, and I felt that same anxiety again. And again, he paid me and tipped me the price of the haircut. And deep down inside, I thought to myself, man, I wish this guy wouldn't tip me, which is crazy because I'm in business to make money. But that was my own dysfunction basically going on. I would rather him not tip me, and so I could feel better about how I was feeling. And in comes the two words, the introspective work. I had to do some introspective work, like, why am I looking at this guy this way? Why am I thinking this way about him? And I didn't have any answers. I had a good friend of mine who came alongside me, and I told him how I was feeling. And he gave me some pretty good advice. He said, Lance, if you're afraid of Muslims, let me preface it with, this has been over 7, 8 years ago. So he said, you're afraid of Muslims, and you're afraid that, for what? There are how many Muslims here in the United States? If your thought processes are in line of, what you're really thinking, then, it would have been over with a long time ago. And so I began to mull a bunch of things over, and my core values. I know that I'm not loving this guy the way that I'm supposed to. I know I'm not treating him the way that I'm supposed to. Actually, he was treating me the way my core values told me I was supposed to be treating him, and I was treating him the opposite, at least in my thought processes. So I had to really evaluate and do some introspective work. And I realized since 9/11, why would I not feel that way? Just about everything that I heard, and everything that informed me of someone who looked like him, someone who was in that, who came from that region, or was from Egypt, someone who practiced that religion. Everything that I basically heard in the news, that I heard from my friends talking about, that I read in print, and even down to the television shows. We had a television show that the main character's name was Jack Bauer, and he was chasing down terrorists, and just about all the terrorists looked just like this guy. And so I had to really wrestle with, why am I treating him like this when this guy's been doing nothing but good things to me? He's patronizing my business and so on and so forth. And so I had to do a lot of introspective work. And I eventually got past that. I'll be honest with you, my belief system, I had to do a lot of praying. asking God to help me, so on and so forth. And when I finally felt like I broke through with that, it was about 8, 9 months later, and he'd been coming to me regularly. Once I realized I was past that and I was doing the work to make sure that I didn't harbor those feelings towards someone who was of a different religion, I realized I couldn't stop there. I have a platform, and the barbershop has always been a space of conversation and exchange of ideas. And I thought, you know what, I need to share this story. And this is where the brutally honest and being brutally honest with ourselves so we can be sincerely honest with others. I started sharing that story. And at first it was hard because you don't want people to know that, you know, Lance, you're jacked up, bro. You got problems, you got issues. But I knew that whenever I shared that story, it actually empowered me to push forward and to do more and to dig deeper into it and make sure that I don't go back into that space. So for years, I used to share that story with people when they would come into the shop. Deep down inside, I wanted to explain this to the guy because by now he and I had become friends. I would run into him at the gym. I would see him and his family, and they would, one time I was on my way in, they were on their way out. I turned around in the locker room, and his family went to the front desk, bought me an ice cold Gatorade, and said, "Hey, here, we want you to have this for your workout." They brought me presents for Christmas. They treated me with nothing but kindness and love. And so after I got past all of that, I figured I need to share the story. So I was sharing the story, and I wanted to say something to him about it. But I didn't think it was fair for me to drop that in his lap because I don't think he realized or knew what was going on. I was telling the story one day, and he didn't have an appointment, and he happened to walk into the barbershop, and I'm in the middle of telling this story. So I thought, I got to finish telling this story because he's going to know something's up if I just stop abruptly. So I finished telling this story. He ends up getting in a chair, and several guys were hanging out in the shop. And now, mind you, several years had gone by, at least five or 6 years had gone by. And I told everyone in the shop, I said, "Hey, you guys," I said, "that story I just got done telling you was about my friend here." And he turned and looked up at me because he was sitting in a chair, and he was looking around like, "What?" And I was able to apologize to him and ask for his forgiveness. And we had a moment in the shop that day. Tears started to well up in his eyes a little bit whenever I told him that story was about him. I felt a lump get in my throat, and I thought, "Oh man, this is really," but it was a healing time. And I'm saying all that to say this. For those of us who are in the line of work that we're in, when we're doing things to help people, I think we need to make sure that we're checking our own biases, checking our own prejudices that we may bring to the table that we don't even know that's there. I think we're in a better position to help those who are on the margins, help those people who are lacking resources, so on and so forth, that we don't look down our nose at people, that we don't judge people, that we can come to the table and not only come to the table, but come alongside them rather than reaching down to them, come alongside them and really help serve our community. And so let's do that introspective work. Let's be brutally honest with ourselves so we can be sincerely honest with others.